Welcome back to The Explainer. Let's just jump right in today. We are mapping out what we call the Superpower Web and really digging into the foundations of social capital. Because, if you've ever felt like your success depends entirely on what's in your head rather than who is actually standing right there beside you in the trenches, well, we're about to flip that script completely. Let's get into it.
So, I want to challenge how we traditionally think about value for a second. Think about this. What if your absolute greatest wealth wasn't sitting in a bank account? I mean, when we hear the word wealth, our brains automatically go straight to dollar signs, right? We think stock portfolios, real estate, the numbers on a screen. But what if there's this massive, totally untapped reservoir of wealth that you already possess right now, and it literally has absolutely nothing to do with money? Just asking that simple question totally flips our default setting. It really sets the stage for a completely different kind of accounting, one where human connection is actually the ultimate currency.
And that brings us to the essence of social capital. Now, to be clear, this isn't just about racking up a giant contact list on your phone or obsessing over follower counts. Not at all. It's about the tangible, real-world value that flows through the relationships you're building every single day. Think of it as a totally distinct, highly actionable form of wealth. It's that late-night text from an industry veteran that magically saves you months of trial and error. It's the warm intro to a key stakeholder when you're desperately trying to get a project off the ground. It's the random opportunity that lands in your lap just because someone happened to remember what you're good at. You're constantly generating this currency, and realizing its impact is really the very first step to unlocking its full potential.
To really wrap our heads around this, it helps to contrast it with something we all know. Financial capital, right? It's finite, it's highly transactional, and you measure it by a strict bottom line. Spend $1, you have one less dollar. But social capital? It operates on a completely different engine. It's built on support, shared resources, and opening up future opportunities. So unlike your bank account, which depletes when you spend it, social capital actually compounds the more you use it. The more you share it and invest it in other people, the bigger it gets. And the best part is this parallel track of wealth building is accessible to absolutely everyone, no matter where your bank balance sits today. It is quite literally a wealth of human potential.
So try thinking about your personal network not just as a boring list of names, but as an allied superpower web. Think of your favorite superhero story for a second. The hero almost never saves the day completely alone, right? They always rely on a team, people with highly specialized skills, deep knowledge, or totally unique resources that perfectly cover the main hero's blind spots. Well, in your life, you are sitting at the exact center of your own narrative, and stretching out all around you is this vibrant, highly interconnected web of individuals who each have their own unique superpowers, just waiting to be activated.
Okay, so who's actually on this team? Your everyday heroes are honestly already embedded in your daily routine. You never actually have to tackle the big stuff alone. Think about your family members. They're providing that baseline emotional resilience and trust. Your friends and peers. They're offering the vital camaraderie you need and acting as sounding boards for your craziest ideas. Then you've got educators and teachers who are actively giving you that specialized knowledge to fast-track your growth. And don't forget the people you randomly meet in local clubs or community groups. They are often the ultimate bridge builders who can open doors to entirely new, high-leverage networks. It's diverse, it's powerful, and it's all right there in your environment.
When you finally start to visualize all of these connections, you're doing something academics call charting your network topography. Now, I know that sounds like a dry, geographical term, but it's actually the perfect way to look at it. Just like a map of the real world has massive mountain ranges and little winding streams, your social world has its own unique terrain. You've got deeply established connections anchoring your professional life on one side, and on the other, maybe some newly formed, fast-moving currents of fresh ideas. And this landscape isn't frozen. It actively morphs and expands every time you interact with someone or share a resource. Literally, every single conversation changes the topography of your personal map. And here is a massively empowering realization to take away. You are constantly building and expanding this web every single day. You might not even realize you're doing it, but every strategic conversation you have, every little collaborative project, even just that quick chat in the hallway after a meeting, it is all actively expanding your hidden wealth. You are the architect here. So networking isn't just some awkward forced activity with name tags and stale coffee. It's an organic, daily reality. Whether you're conscious of it or not, the threads of your superpower web are continuously weaving outward.
But here's the catch. Just having a vast, sprawling network isn't quite enough if you don't understand how it all functions together as a network ecosystem. The word ecosystem implies balance, right? Deliberate organization, and this vital flow of energy, or in our case, a flow of resources, strategic advice, and reciprocal support. When you start treating your relationships as a living ecosystem, you can navigate it strategically to unlock massive opportunities down the road. You start to see things like, oh, this person's specialized skill perfectly complements this big initiative I'm trying to lead. It's all connected.
Now, it's one thing to just understand the theory behind all this, but it's an entirely different game when you can actually see it laid out right in front of you. And for that, we need a blueprint. By actually charting your own heat map of community superpowers, all these abstract ideas about social capital and topography suddenly crash together into a single, super practical exercise. This is exactly where we take those invisible threads of your network and make them visible, and way more importantly, immediately actionable.
So here's how we do it. By physically drawing this out, you can pinpoint the specific strengths currently surrounding you. Step 1. Start with a community map. Just get the key players in your orbit down on a piece of paper. Step 2. Circle the people you interact with the most to create a heat map. This instantly shows you where your network is the hottest and most engaged right now. And finally, Step 3. Label each person's unique superpower. Maybe a former coworker is a total wizard at securing funding. Maybe someone in your running club has a hard-to-get connection to a major local manufacturer. Once you define these, you've taken a neat idea and turned it into a highly functional map of your personal wealth.
And once you can clearly see that topography and really understand the ecosystem of superpowers around you, you are probably going to notice some glaring gaps. Maybe you're planning a big project launch and realize, wow, nobody in my immediate heat map has the specific technical expertise I need. Well, that's your cue. That is how you leverage social capital deliberately. So I want you to look closely at your map today. Ask yourself, who is the next hero you need to recruit? Thank you so much for joining me on The Explainer today. I highly encourage you to grab a pen and start drawing your own community map right now. See you next time.